So important that I tell my kids I love you.
So let's do this. Let's play a game. What are some of the craziest rumors that you've heard about yourself?
Oh my God!
Or that we can put on the air, because I know that you've heard some rumors about yourself.
We're just hanging out. We got the Ivan Spinner story. Nobody gets the story of Ivan. Everybody thinks Ivan has magical money.
Magical. It's
magical. Is it growing trees on?
Yeah.
So where is that money tree?
I don't know.
Right?
My wife seems to know where it's at. I don't know where it's at yet.
No.
I just say the more you
on
make,
record?
Yeah, we're recording.
All right, we're
recording right now.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Kathy and Susie's Kids. I'm Matthew Brooks.
And I'm Jourdan.
We're here with Mr. Ivan Spinner for part 2.
Part 2.
What up, dude?
Excited. Appreciate you guys inviting me back.
Yeah, dude. We had so much fun the first time. I felt like we had some more to talk about. So, no, we actually like bringing guests back on. And we might like making characters out of our people. You know, we want everybody to know who you are, too. And we do that with all of our people that's been on multiple times. I think it's more of a family thing. So
good. I'd like to be. Hopefully, I'm a good character rather than a bad one. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one. How do you get the full? Me and Matt was talking. How do you get the full story of having a conversation with a person on one go?
You can't. It's almost impossible.
Right.
You got to warm up.
100%. You can meet someone and kind of get a feeling of who they are.
A vibe.
But it takes time.
I mean, I feel like I'm a really good judge of character. Whenever I meet somebody that I don't like, I know immediately. And I'm like, man, there's a lot this person's going to have to do to win me back over.
Yeah, there's no question.
But then there's the people that you meet and you feel comfortable talking to and you have fun and you can feel like you're going to be friends, which is kind of how me and you are.
Definitely.
So we're glad that you're coming back on, man. So what's been up, dude? What you been up to this week? Christmas shopping?
I got my daughter's 12th birthday tomorrow. So it's been her birthday, I think, for like the last month, it feels like. But she's like,
a whole month?
Pretty much. She's like, Dad, I want this. So we're doing she's 12. So I guess it's called it's not a teen. It's, what do they call it? It's like a
sweet 16?
A tween. Like in between a
teenager.
A teenager and a element, whatever it is. So
she get a car?
No, she's not getting a car. But we are doing a birthday party for Marina Cantina, and we're doing a crab boil. So she has like 20 friends and doing like crab legs. And
that'd be
fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it'd be a fun little time for
her. Are you going to have ponies?
Ponies? No, we're not having ponies. She's past that age.
Yeah.
She's definitely past that age.
Well,
I just try to keep her not have any. I don't want to have boys. She's
so
young.
It's inevitable, man. You're really close, I think, right?
She's my my little baby. I still love her.
Is she your youngest?
Youngest.
Oh, man.
And only girl.
Got your heart, too.
Youngest and only girl.
You're in trouble, bro.
Yeah.
Is it different? DJ Boris swears his little girl. He's got a little boy and a little girl.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have no idea.
Oh,
it's a different world.
It's night and day.
She is wrapped around his finger.
Well, I'm over here with no kids, so I'm just like looking at guys like y'all and you learn how to do it.
Yeah, I love my boys more than anything. I mean, they're like my boys, like my best friends.
Yeah.
Love them, but they're 19 and 18, and and I love them more than anything. But there's nothing like a girl. I mean, she looks at me and you're like, oh. You melt.
What do you want?
Yeah.
The money tree's in the back.
Exactly. I'm like, just go pick it out.
There you go.
Whatever you need, baby. No, but there's nothing like, I think, a relationship with a daughter and a daughter and a dad. It's just something
So happy birthday and shout out.
Happy birthday, Bella.
There you go.
Happy birthday, Bella.
We always want to make you feel, I guess, aware that we're looking out for our guest family. So shout out Miss Bella.
I appreciate it.
And I noticed this, and I asked you this a while back when I was having Oliver. I was like, hey, it's a difference. Now that I'm a father, you kind of grind harder, right?
There's no question.
It's a different kind of drive.
I do like. I'd rather buy gifts for my children or my wife than me. I mean, there's nothing better than giving something to your children. So I mean, I pretty much work and do what I do for my family.
I know that's what my dad always told me. He's like, I do everything I do just so you can have it better than I did.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
I'll do the same.
Though,
yeah, they really are.
Shout out to Robert.
My dad got in a wreck today, man. And I just found that out. Yeah,
Is he okay?
He rear-ended. He's okay. I think he's a little banged up. He told me the same story twice. I asked him if he was concussed. But the airbag came out, but he actually rear-ended a trailer on the bridge with no lights on it, and he hit the brakes and he was skidding on the grating right there.
Wow.
The brakes didn't engage, and he got him pretty good. So. But he's okay. Yeah.
Good. As long as he's okay, that's
That's
Important.
right. That was a weird conversation. or phone
his
call
work
to
truck
get.
or
Yeah, it was his work car.
Yeah, when those airbags come out, they can.
Oh, he said it was cut up. He
They
said it
can
had
beat
big
you up.
scratch on him.
You see some scratches, bruises.
never
They'll do
had
it
that.
to
I
you.
mean, I've been in wrecks, but they've never deployed.
Same. I've
I've
been.
never deployed on
I've
me.
never had one deploy me either.
I haven't been. I haven't been in that many wrecks, but
I
I've
haven't
been in a
either. I
couple.
haven't either. But no, I think I've been in a few where they should have deployed, but they didn't. I got lucky, man. I smashed a deer in Oxford one time. I was getting out of class. I had just taken my final. And I was like about to drive home. It was like 5:30 in the afternoon, and I was driving. I used to live off of Old Sardis, and I was probably maybe 200 yards away from my driveway, and I was probably going 50, and it was sleeting and snowing like real heavy. And the 5-wing buck runs out in front of me, and I just smashed this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man! And I like slowed down. And you see the smoke coming out of my hood.
It's crazy.
But the airbag never came out.
I watch those stories about people hitting deers, and it's amazing how a deer you can hit it, and all of a sudden the deer just gets up and starts running.
Dude, I watched one. All right, this is a funny story too. We were at a buddy of mine's camp last weekend, and we spooked these deer, and they took off running, and this doe runs and it squares into a pine tree, and it just slinky, like full on hit it head first, freaking out trying to get away from us, and all I could do was laugh whenever I saw it. Kind of bounce up and it stumbled and just ran off. But
Yeah.
I never seen that before.
Yeah,
but
they're-
resilient little animals.
100%. They're tough. They're tough little animals for sure.
I've been trying to get a couple. I would say catch. That's
Riding two wheels. I've seen a deer 2 times close to me on 2 wheels. That is one of the scariest things.
Oh,
I'm telling you, one time I was on my jigsaw and I was just like, I mean, I seen the reflection of the lights, and I just already hit the light. I hit the back brake because I was like, there's no way. Now in the car, I'm fine with the car, but like people on motorcycles that hit deer, there's very few people that make it.
I had a buddy of mine. We were in Colorado, and we were following him on his bike. And we were in a car, with a big old like stampede of rams come running down a mountain. And he didn't even see them. They were right behind him, and we had to slam on brakes. And he ended up driving like a couple miles in front of us. And finally, we catch up to him. He's like, "Where y'all been?" And I'm like, "Dude, you almost died."
oh yeah, that's some scary stuff. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
So how's it been going though at old Marina Cantina?
Marina, it's going great. I think a lot better than any of us anticipated. So we're extremely excited. We got a lot of crazy events coming up. Obviously with Christmas in the Bayou, Christmas, New Year's. So there's a bunch of events coming up.
A lot of Christmas parties?
Bunch of Christmas parties. I think we're pretty much jam-packed with parties for holiday parties, Christmas parties.
Tell me about this floating bar thing that I've seen out there.
Ooh, yeah, it looks sick.
It's
Good call, Matt. Good call.
So we got lucky. A guy was selling it, and we Thomas Gennon and I from Blind Tiger went and looked at it. The owner of Marina Cantina, and we bought it on the spot. And
Where was it?
It was actually. It used to be on the back bayou over by those apartments in Biloxi. It was a guy from New Orleans owned it, Kenny LaBelle, I think. And he, I guess, was done with it, not using it anymore. And we saw it, and we're like, "Hey, this is perfect."
It is neat. It is neat.
So we are. It's going to be probably in the next 2 weeks. We'll be completely done. So we're going to rig it out. I'll have like a disco ball. They'll be shucking oysters off there. Great music, television, bars on there.
How many people?
We think it'll probably be. We're not 100% sure, but we think about 18 to 20 people.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Private
So
parties.
it'll be like really cool, like private parties, like where our cabanas are booked, our tables are booked. Hey, you have a big party of 15 or 20. Hey, you guys want to jump on the barge, and we'll just serve you food, drinks.
No,
alcohol.
is there a way to get it out of the water?
Yeah, so I mean, it's got 2 engines. It works.
I mean, can you pull it up on a lift, or if a storm comes, do you got to take it up north, or what do you do? Do you tie it off? Or?
Yeah, we'll probably just tie it off. I mean,
Gotcha.
it's a party barge, so it's not hugely significant.
Right.
But we could, we'll probably. I would imagine if the weather gets bad, we'll put it down the river somewhere and make sure it's okay and secured.
Seaway. That's where when I do my walk.
Right.
Every boat. Me and you went.
Yeah.
Right over here. Every boat's tied off together.
Yeah. So
Sailboats.
But that's a whole job. I know that.
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and with those floating docks, which are actually expanding right now, and I think right around Christmas time you'll see like the expansion of the floating docks.
How many slots you think?
Well, it's going to be kind of like almost built like a marina. So
So you
not
drive
real
in like a
spots.
square.
Yeah, so you'll go in it'll be like a square. You go in and you'll be able to pull side to side.
That's smart.
Yeah, we had to kind of do it just to our boating. We never expected to be such high demand on boating
Oh
during.
man,
So-
people need it. The people need it.
we
man.
need it.
Could we when it gets up running, could we do a pod on the boat with you?
Oh, 100%.
We got our travel gear now. Like I said, we just
that'd be perfect.
That'd be just go sit out there.
That'd be a fun thing to do. You get disco ball rolling.
Dude, I think so. Absolutely. Do it during the summertime.
I did
100%.
So after we did our podcast there, and I told Emma, she's like, "You got any plans? Anything going on?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm probably just gonna go to Marina Cantina and just stay the whole day." And she's like, and then that's when I met Rossetti up there, and we had lunch, and I stayed the whole day. He was there. He came and left, but like I stayed the whole day. It was. I tell you what, it's.
How many beers did you have?
Well, I mean, I had a lot of Bushwhackers, and they do this peanut butter whiskey. Something peanut butter. I don't know. Ben was like, "Hey, no, man, you can't do a Bushwhacker without this."
Right.
So I did that. So I did. Had a few Bushwhackers. Had some high noons.
Oh yeah, feeling good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, good thing I live right down the road.
Right.
Yeah, it's a cool spot, and it's become like a extremely happening spot for the coast.
So I think it's the next weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. So I think it's great. Listen, and I truly hope. I tell everyone, I'm like, I hope this is like. That people are like, wow, this is really working and it's a great thing, and other people do it. I hope other people can build places like this or expand on it, because I believe that we could be like Orange Beach.
I think so too.
Are you getting Woody's by you?
And it's untapped.
Woody's is going by us, but yeah, if you do them on the water though, so like if you look at Orange Beach, people like Orange Beach because you go bar to bar from the boats. The water really isn't great until you get out there.
Right.
We have the same, pretty much a very similar thing, but we have more people that live here, in town. On a full-time basis. So you do that and you want to go see nice blue water, you go out to the islands. But if you have like 5 or 6 of these bars, like a Marina Cantina, I think it could be a real successful place. I mean, so I truly hope other people do it and, spend the money and, do it right.
Oh, well, I think what makes Marina Cantina for me, for spending that day there, just as a customer and having a good time, there's stuff to do outside. And that's a big issue that when you go to a lot of our bars, you only have like, if they do have like, and I'm not saying there are places I know that have their own little decks, but it's not, it's a deck.
Right.
And this has like their bar downstairs, what you see.
Yeah.
That's the spot, because there's people that don't want to be out by the water. They just want to they want to be at the bar.
Right.
And the bars, when you go to places, especially when you go to places that have like the bars, there's usually a bartender working one. And the bar is no bigger than the size of this table we're sitting at. And this is reality. And that's the reality.
100%.
So you don't want to hover them. You're trying to get a drink. But
their names, but it's like that down here.
Yeah. So at Marina Cantina, you don't have to hover. You're at a giant bar, so you can walk around and you're not feeling like you're bothering anybody. So that's what I love about that.
Maybe
place.
one day you'll hover and it'll be so slammed in there. You're gonna just. Walk
it was. I mean,
it's been pretty packed, and hopefully during the summertime we'll be really.
I think
packed.
it will, yeah.
But I think one of the great things about it is you can go there for watch a football game, live music. But kids, the kids have really taken it to storm. No matter what time you go, day or night, there's always kids down there. Young kids.
Right.
3, 4, 5, 6 playing. Horseshoe, whatever they're playing,
cornhole,
cornhole, any of those games, they're always out there playing.
We want to do a podcast and beer pong.
Oh,
I think we need to do a beer pong tournament.
Yeah, that'd be a fun event.
Come on, you can't.
I'd probably just pull out some old college moves on that one.
Hattiesburg, remember back in the day, you go to Hattiesburg, you do beer pong tournament, you $50 bar tab. You'd win and that was everything. $50 bar tab was everything.
Back then, yeah.
Well,
Drinking with Lincoln back then.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
I think spending that day there, and that's all you need. Like, you need that feel. And then the golf carts. My buddy Randy Richardson, shout out to you, buddy. Have you know Randy?
What's up, Randy? Yeah.
Power Mark.
Yes, I think I do.
He's
horrible with names, so I apologize, Randy.
No, he's a shaved head, really nice. He lives across the street. Like, he lives across the street, and he's got a golf cart.
Right.
So when I did the Marina Cantina, we hung out. He was on his golf cart, and when I was leaving with Rossetti, and I wasn't even paying attention. It was like, I was just going. I was going to go back home, come right back, kind of thing. He looked at me, he goes, "You didn't say anything." He goes, "You didn't even say hey." And then I was like, whoa, all right, I'll just go. I'll just stay.
Right.
And I went back up, opened another tab, sat with him. We hung out for a couple hours, and then since his house is
so close
in the neighborhood on his golf cart, he goes, "Hey man, you mind, Marcel? Do you mind to go let's see Marcel and check in with her?" And he's got a family. Let's go check in. So we hopped on the golf cart. We were jamming out to Odessa. We were living our best life.
Good.
We were just, and then we hung out at his house for about 30 minutes or 15, 20 minutes somewhere around there. And then me and him went back, and then he went back and picked her up.
Right.
And that was our whole day. And I was like, man, this is awesome. And then the music kicked on, which I love the placement of the music. Because, when you go to a lot of places, they're always like right in front of your face most of the time. And I like the placement of like, it's over there in the corner. And they got like these cabanas.
I've seen it. It's like the top of a boat, kind of like the stage.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks pretty neat.
It is. They made it like, the top of a tuna tower. And that's kind of like the stage. Now, we're not going to be doing that all the time during the cold, when the weather's cold. We'll put them more back. We have like another little stage back by the underneath the bar area.
Okay.
Just because some of the entertainers probably don't like being out in 30, 40 degrees weather.
Man, it was so cold today.
Oh,
it was.
And they got shutters. You got some wind shutters.
Yeah,
today,
we just put in blinds. They'll be completed tomorrow, but they're it's like 95% of blocks out sun, heat, cold. So we just put that in. Electric blinds are super cool. It's very big in like South Florida, and I think they're done in Destin. So I think we're definitely the first person on the coast here to have them.
Where'd you get them from?
It's called I forgot. Gulf Coast Shades.
Gulf Coast Shades.
They're actually based out of South Florida.
Okay.
And I think they might have an office in Mobile.
Are they all like hurricane proof and stuff?
No,
or?
but they're made for like 80, 100 mile an hour winds.
Okay, so almost.
Yeah, so it's made of Kevlar, so nothing really gets used. So 95% of like wind, cold, so it kind of blocks out all the cold. So you have the heaters on, you can crank it. You don't need to worry about that south wind coming in. So it's really neat. I'm excited to see it completely finished tomorrow, but I think it's a very, very good thing that we did.
Well, last time we were at the Marina Cantina, you told us the story, Jourdan. You want to give on?
You can hand it to him, but
all right, we got you a present. I
appreciate it.
You told us the story. Go ahead and open it. About this original poster that you got when you were, I think, like 14, 12. You had it on your wall.
I was a youngin'.
And you ended up following, your dreams, and you made it to where you were able to acquire this. And we want you to have that from us, and you can hang it up somewhere and think about, Jourdan and Matthew whenever you walk by and check it out. Well, we definitely want to do a shot on the car too.
Definitely. You guys let me know. We could do some sort of like video.
Yeah. Driving. Jourdan wants to do TikToks. He's big into TikToks. So
you're a TikToker?
Well, I just think it's fun.
My daughter loves TikToks.
So look at the condition of it though. So like the color of the paper.
It seems very, very collectible, so I don't really want to be too rough on this. My wife tells me like
It came from Canada.
A bull in a China cabinet.
She says I'm the worst.
I am
she
too.
Can hear me coming a mile away.
Yeah, hold that up for the camera.
This is really. This is definitely the original. Actually, I think it's the identical one that I had.
That's perfect. That's what we were going for.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
It's definitely the. So I really appreciate it. This is awesome.
So
I'm probably gonna frame it and put it in Gulf Coast Exotic.
There you go.
Do you have to press a button to make the lights pop up, or do they do it when you turn the key?
No, you need to push a button and the lights pop up.
No, what?
I mean, it's it's just when you go in it, you're like, man, these cars, it's different technology now to what they were back then in 1990s,
right?
Early 1990s.
Oh, it's night and day.
Night and day. We were just talking about it before we started here. It's like, nowadays, you have a car. Back then, if a car had 250 horsepower, you're like, oh my gosh. Now, if a car doesn't have 800, you're like, oh, it's slow. So it's just a different breed of an animal. But I really appreciate it. It's awesome. I'm super stoked to put it up.
We got a lot of we got positive feedback on that story, and that was what's cool about it. Is I was like, because everybody wants to say, hey. You looked at a poster on the wall and you said, you know what, I'm going to own that car one day. And when you do a visualize, and I do into motivational books, and I will have that car that I visualize. But the car that I visualize is the Ford Lightning that I have down there. So that was my dream car.
That's great.
So it's like I always wanted a Ford Lightning, and then everybody's like, what? That's the car I've always wanted. It was just I knew that and I had the opportunity to own one and.
That's a great thing to do. In anything in life.
Yeah, no doubt. You get goals. You set out your tasks.
You see Arnold Schwarzenegger on it when you were a kid. You're like, I want to look like him.
Yeah.
Not me. Sure.
I still look like him.
But it's hard to do.
But I'm saying that feedback from people are like, you know, that's motivation to people who are like, hey man, you know what? I'll go knock doors if I can have a Ferrari.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
How many doors did you knock?
Thousands. It's scary.
The phone book, remember that?
Yeah.
Pull the phone book out.
Yes.
I remember having cold call. That was the worst.
It is, but that's what you have to do. You got to do that. And you got to do that from the beginning. And I'm proud of my oldest son. He's about to get his insurance exam.
Oh, really?
He's taking it like in 2 weeks.
Is he doing the risk? You said he's not doing the risk management insurance program up there.
No, he's doing marketing, and he's getting
same thing.
And he's getting his minor in insurance. Okay. I guess there's a major there in insurance.
Yeah. There is. That's what I did.
So he's doing that. But I mean, you can't just throw them into it. They got to learn it it's hard.
Right.
You got to learn how to set up appointments, meet people. I mean, it's definitely a process in that business.
You're held accountable.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's important.
Because there's a high reward.
What would it feel like when your son came up to you and said, "Hey, Dad, I think I want to follow your footsteps"?
It's great. Like, I've been talking to my kids forever. My family's extremely, extremely close, and we've even gotten close over the last few years from good and bad issues that we've had together. Just stuff I went through personally. But I want my kids to do. I would love to work with my kids one day.
Right.
Not just in the insurance business, but in the real estate business, and owning other things like the restaurant and other. I'd love to my kids to explore everything and find out what they really love.
Dude, the older I get, the more I realize that you only get one of these lives.
There's no doubt,
and you want to live it to the fullest.
And you never know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Really
how many times friends of especially as we get older, all of a sudden their life comes short.
Yeah.
I mean, it's over the last probably 5 years. I mean, I can't even count how many people I've known, well, that have
I just lost a buddy this past week.
Soon.
Yeah,
it's sad.
Motorcycle accident. Rest in peace, Neil. Got it.
Yeah, and it happens.
Sad. It does happen
every day, and it's just you're just blessed to be alive.
Well, speaking of your kids, you were telling me a little story earlier about a tattoo that you got on your arm, and go ahead and tell everybody what it is. Show them your tattoo.
Yeah, so I have a tattoo. It says FOE. So my son, my oldest one, Logan, about a few years ago, I had a little issue, which I'm sure everyone knows about.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever heard about this, but
so I had an issue. So I'm obviously in the insurance business. I was in the real estate business as well, and I got jammed up in a real estate issue that we'd go to the courthouse, and instead of bidding on stuff, guys would be like, "Hey, you get this one, you get this one. Hey, I'll give you some money not to take this one," and to find out it was illegal, and I got in a lot of trouble. Me and several other people and everyone that pretty much was down there was kind of involved, and it put my family in a really bad situation,
right? And
not really financial situation, but more just a situation that you're like
integrity
you had to come back together. So I mean, I've always believed that I've never really taken shortcuts in my life, but this is a shortcut that I did take. Just because everyone was doing it, and just because people are doing things doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, my dad said, if everyone jumps off a bridge, are you going to? And half the time I'm like, what? How tall was the bridge? And
and that was a bad mistake, and and I hope I try to instill it in my kids. Just because people are doing stuff doesn't mean it's right or wrong.
All right.
So I made a mistake. It was a really bad situation for my family. It took me. I had to go 4 months away from my family to federal prison.
Nice. In the Tink.
Yeah, so it was, it was a really humbling, but I'll tell you one thing, and I tell my kids, it was probably the best experience of my life. The 2 years before that, going through the investigation and knowing it was coming down was the hardest part. Once it was done, I was kind of like, all right, let me get on with my life.
All right. Gives you a chance to make peace with it, restitution.
And everybody makes mistakes.
There's no doubt. I mean, anyone that says they're an angel or wouldn't have done it or haven't done anything, I believe is
full of shit.
Pretty much. I mean, listen, I feel like I've lived a pretty strong life, and I really try to do the right thing. I try to give back and try to do a lot of things, but I made a mistake,
right?
And I owned it to it.
Takes a big man to admit that they made a mistake,
and it was hard. But so the tattoo, just to go back to it, is right before I was going away for those 4 months. Me and my sons decided to go get a tattoo together, all FOE on our wrist, the exact same one. And it was very emotional for me and my kids, and my wife was there.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. Yeah.
But you know what it was? It just showed our bond, and since that whole experience, I can't even tell you how much closer my wife, my kids, it's hard. I mean, can you imagine your children having to come visit you?
No.
And, being away, and especially me, because I was like such a big part of their life, not being away for 4 months was very difficult, for my wife and for my children.
Yeah.
So, but I think it made me a better person as is, realizing, hey, you're only here for a short period of time. Anything can happen. Do the right thing at all the times. And, just make sure, you try to show people just because they see you in the paper or they see you in the news.
Yeah, you get a bad rep from people's
that's
opinions,
not who you are.
and opinions aren't always facts. Or opinions are never facts, really.
Yeah.
But the tattoo, family over everything, FOE. One of my mottos is from Will Ferrell movie. What was it? ELE, everybody love everybody.
Yeah,
it's a good acronym, but
no
family over everything. I like that. So.
Yeah, family over everything means a ton. I believe everyone. I mean, you got, especially you have, a new child, son. It's so important, to be close to your family, because you never know what tomorrow can bring. And every single day, I'll kiss my kids. I'll say goodbye to them. I love them. I think one of the most important things is telling your kids every day you love them. Right. One of my best friends from home, his name is Greg Filippo, just lost his son. His son was my son's age. 19 years old, lost his son. And in a bad car accident, and his son saying, and which my kids say, is every time you end a conversation, say I love you, and they call it the Zack Rule. So at the end of every conversation, your friend, your father, your daughter, whatever it is, you end up I love you.
It's smart, because
really
a lot of times, you wish you always had that last opportunity to say something, and then 99.9% of the time you don't have that last opportunity.
Yeah. So now just with what I've been through in the last few years, and just knowing what I've seen, it's so important that I tell my kids I love you.
So let's do this. Let's play a game. What are some of the craziest rumors that you've heard about yourself?
Oh my God!
Or that we can put on the air, because I know that you've heard some rumors about yourself.
Well, the funny thing is people don't understand. I'm from South Florida, and I made, I know a lot of people, whatever it is, I made my money in South Florida. I was in the insurance business. I've taken a couple companies public. I've made my money that end of it. But I've been down here, and I've always been in high-end cars. So I come down here, and I had some pretty exotic cars, and I've heard people say I'm a drug dealer, I'm in the mob. I don't even know, but those are probably the two big things.
We need to write a movie about all this.
And the funny thing,
the
funny thing is, I don't even do drugs.
Right.
So but I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, I heard he's taking drugs on his boat," which I have a boat now, but I never used to have a boat because I get seasick. But just like weird things like that.
Well, people always question the unknown.
Yeah,
we live in a life there, and I was like, I didn't mean to cut you off. We live in this like. And that's the thing is like watching you, like, I met you through events with John Carter, shout out to our boy, and like had the biggest parties. Everybody loved Ivan. And all this stuff happened. I even told him, it's like everything started happening. It's like every time I'd see somebody, there'd be like some like negative story.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
And I'm like, what? You just at this dude's party? Like,
yeah.
And then I told her, I was like, this is society. It's like,
that's the world we live in. Social media.
No doubt.
People want to watch you fail.
There's no question. And
haters gonna hate.
You know what? I tell my children that if you don't have people that hate you or talk bad about you, it means you never made it.
Right.
Listen, I'm different, I think, than a lot of aspects. I want all my friends to be successful. I want everyone to be successful, because then I can enjoy my life with them.
Right.
So I don't want to see people go through tough times, and if they are, I'm usually one of the people that will try to help them or try to lift them up. But I was very fortunate. I've done well, but I've had major ups and downs in life. And I think I probably had one of the hardest, most humbling ups and downs in life in the last couple of years that anyone else had it. And, and I felt like when I came out, I was going to try to prove to everyone, hey, listen, I'm going to do things the right way and show you that, hey, the $17,000 in restitution that you all thought I stole all this money is not the truth.
Right.
So, and that's why I'm glad I did this restaurant. I'm glad I'm trying to prove people wrong.
Well, we're glad you came on here to tell us about it.
And everyone's going to make a mistake. And, I apologize for what I did.
If you put a microscope on somebody, you're going to find something.
When you got out that weekend was the Croker Classic. I was helping Marty put it on. And I tried to buy him a drink. He's like, no, it's on me. And I was like, no, I'm getting you a drink. Like, because he just got out, and we had a small conversation, but it's good to see him. Like, this is his first, what are your first times out, like with your wife, and you're kicking it.
Yeah, it was definitely extremely humbling.
What was your favorite meal?
My favorite meal outside?
No, inside. Whenever they were in there, man.
I'll tell you one thing. It's so hard to explain. I mean, I tell my kids, I said, obviously most people know, I have a nice house and live a good living. You go there and you're living in a bunk bed, and I'm living out of a locker. And, your whole lot, you're living out of a tiny locker, and, you're trying to get food to save food. And, I'm eating like 2-day-old chicken out of a locker, trying to put ice on it to eat it because the food is actually horrendous.
Oh man, I can imagine.
That's why
I've heard nightmares.
You either go out of there and you either lose a ton of weight and get in great shape, or you can get really, really heavy because all you do is eat commissary junk food.
Right.
Ramen noodles.
Yes.
Well, we see which route you took. You're looking pretty jacked today.
I was in a lot better shape when I got out.
What was the first meal you ate when you got out?
When I got out, I went on the way out. I was in Alabama. We came out and I went to a steak restaurant. There was nothing. I was starving, and I went to I don't remember the place. I think it's like an Applebee's or something.
Applebee's.
But
It didn't matter, bro.
Just to have Applebee's was like
good old family meal.
That was like
Applebee's.
the Mortons you'll ever see. But I was so hungry, and but the food is horrible. But it was a great lesson to learn. Yeah. And I tell everyone, I tell my friends, it's something that I think every person should experience. And not in a bad way, but it completely puts you to a level that you're like, wow. Most of the people there at a federal prison are mainly drug related. So I'm definitely the minority there, to say the least. And it's people that have been down from higher levels that have went down.
Right.
So I was in a camp.
Did you meet any friends?
Yeah, I met a bunch of great. Actually,
you got friends now there, huh?
Yeah, I met a bunch
That's
of.
Awesome.
You'd be shocked how many good people are there that made mistakes, just like
everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, just like myself. So, but I think it was and I'm not, and obviously you can tell I'm not scared to talk about it because. Right. I did it, and I have to be. It is what it is.
Yeah, you own it. I own the ground I walk on, man.
Yeah,
it's a motto I live by. Where I always say, it might not be the right way, it might not be the wrong way, but it's the Matthew Brooks way. That's how stubborn I am that I've talked myself into believing this.
But yeah,
but cheers to that. Cheers to that.
And I live long.
Cheers.
Sometimes I have to live with the outcomes of my terrible decisions.
There's no question. But and I'll tell you one thing: the hardest part is seeing your kids upset.
Right.
These are your kids and your wife upset, or someone says something, or to my daughter. My daughter's 8 or 9 years old.
In school and stuff. It's a whole different. Like my dad said this, that your dad did this.
Yeah,
kids are kids. Kids will be kids.
It's hard, and you just got to explain to them, hey, it is what it is, and you guys, you have to own it, and
and live and learn. That's the biggest
and try
take
to make
from
yourself a better person. And I believe I truly believe I came out as a better person. And that's what it is. If that's what's gonna take, it's gonna take.
What's next? What's next on the horizon, man?
I have a bunch of projects. I'm
tell us about something. You told us about the ones that you got on Pass Road right now.
I got the ones on Pass Road right now.
But that's old news to us now. We know that. So what's next?
I have a bunch of new projects that I'm going to try to keep us a surprise.
Okay.
Hopefully in the next few months I can announce it.
All right.
But I have definitely a bunch of projects I'm looking at and kind of see where it's at with this whole COVID thing, and obviously now with a new president coming in.
Who knows what to expect?
Who knows what to expect?
Watch that stock market. Watch some tickers. Make sure we need to know where to put the money.
I consider myself an independent. Republican is probably better for me on the financial end of it.
All right.
So I would just like to see, hopefully, the Republicans win the Senate.
Yeah.
So we kind of don't have too many crazy changes. But I'm not really into politics too much.
Yeah, you can't
one way or the other.
It's so hard to.
You know what? I think these people. I think that's another thing. I think people waste so much time and energy
and hair and stress levels.
That's why I'm putting down the phone and because and it comes back to the media. We always talk about this, like the media. Stop being reality TV.
Yeah.
What the hell, man? Like,
it is.
You can't do it anymore. It's like you remember when the Jersey Shore came out?
Yeah.
It's like it times 10 now on everything that happens.
It's horrible.
I mean, a couple 100,000 people have passed away from Corona, and I know that's serious.
Yeah.
I'm a kid with cerebral palsy.
Right.
Like, and I can't feel my right foot, dude.
Right.
Like, it's a serious thing. Like, and it's like I understand situations, But how about the people with the depression, suicide?
There's no question.
Flu, other diseases.
Loss of business.
Don't have jobs.
No, you're 100% right. And one of the things is about like this whole COVID thing. one of the things I also learned when I got out, all these people were getting all these breaks. Hey, you can get this money, you pay your employees. Well, that was one of the things that hurt me as well, because I had a history and I was a felon. I was unable to get any of the.
Oh, really?
So you got to pay
the PPP money, or?
Right? But you know what? I felt it was right. We kept every employee.
Well,
we didn't
you're fortunate enough to be able to do that. A lot of people weren't.
Yeah, so we kept. I try to keep every employee, but it's hard. I mean, if you shut down the economy, I mean, it destroyed a lot of people.
Shut our mattress store down. That we have a small mattress store.
Right.
I mean, we're growing it. This is Emily's. As I get, I want
Right.
to leave something for them.
100%.
If I go out with a heart attack, I want them. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing is, it's like they shut me down for a month and a half, and all my money's in my mattresses. And it's because you're flipping.
Right.
Most people have businesses, don't realize there's not a person that sits on a pile of cash and just goes, that you take your money, you roll it back into it. And
You have to invest in yourself. Also, you got to keep growing your business. The only way to do is invest in yourself.
Yeah.
And they shut me a month and a half.
I don't like just being told what to do by anybody. That's a big thing for me. And they're like, hey, there's a curfew. Even like during hurricanes and stuff, they put a curfew in place, and I'm like,
no, I hear you.
I don't want to be told what to do. Don't tell me what to do. I'm ungroundable.
The one thing I think
Don't put baby in the corner.
The one thing I think we do need to do is we got to reunite. We got to unite everyone.
Yeah, that's
I feel
absolutely
like
true.
I think everyone is like so. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. I'm this. I'm that. We need to really come back as a country.
It seems like an easy task to do. Like one event could just catapult this. And
Should we get Wham to play?
We have
hit a concert somewhere.
Hit it up. But
Everybody
we got to do
hands.
something, because it's getting crazy. Like, I watch, some of my closest friends are such hardcore Republicans, and it's like, why do you care anymore? It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, and
we're all in this together.
And I don't
We're
believe
on the
it.
same rock.
And I know some people are like, oh, the world's coming to an end. I mean, does it really come to an end? It might change a little bit, but nothing's gonna. You
That's
still
the dinosaurs.
We have one of our friends. He's done work with like Obama and stuff. Brent Caldwell.
Yeah,
I mean, it's their childhood friend.
He
Right.
worked on the campaign.
Perfect score on his ACT.
Wow.
He's one of them. Like, we're doing our class reunion, at Brandon Bailey's house this year, 2005 and 2006 together. But he works. He lives in all about. He's a big time Democrat.
Right.
He actually went to school with Ole Miss with us.
And I'm conservative. I'm not far right.
Right.
I'm not. I mean, I'm becoming more independent through the coronavirus. To be
Right.
honest with you.
Yeah.
But he'll have his views and he'll come and attack but he doesn't attack them. He just says, I don't believe in them, but I support it.
Right.
So me and him, he can talk. I'm not gonna like.
friendly banter, but you see people that are like delete me or cause
that's
issues with
stupid.
their family,
It's
or like
stupid.
we're
It's
canceling Christmas over.
It's
politics.
it's insane, and it's funny because we're redoing our house, and we're in a rental house that I'm doing on Pass Road, and right by the beach, and we're driving up, and the guy has got a huge Biden flag, and my daughter's like, "Hey, look, Dad, we're next to a Democrat." And my daughter's 12 years old, not even 12 years old.
Knows. She knows.
Yeah,
at
she's
12.
like, "Hey, look, they're Democrats." I'm like, it makes no bearing.
No.
It really doesn't
they're all
make any
human
bearing.
people.
I want to stay in my
souls.
lane.
No, and I'm the same way.
I don't
Like,
want anybody to
stay-
tell me what to do. I don't want to tell anybody else
Yeah.
to do, unless you're my employee or
I
work
do
for you.
absolutely no political posts, because I believe, everyone's got their own voice and opinion, and
Exactly. Who are you to? Who am I to change somebody?
But I also believe that you have, if you're going to talk, you have to vote.
no doubt.
I knock doors. So I'll go to debates and sit in there, and both sides.
Yeah.
But like I really truly hate when people have this so much with this talk about politics, and it's like you've never even voted,
or know what they're talking about.
but
Yeah.
it sounds cool in a post, don't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easy. That's the keyboard warrior way, man.
I mean, most of my posts that come through social media is while I'm doing cardio, or either I'm in a happy moment or fighting depression. I'm just letting it rip.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just feel like we got to come to a time that we have to, like, you know what? Let's all get together.
Reality TV
Forget
ruined
about the
us.
You know
nonsense.
what we need?
What?
Another all-white party.
Oh, we
Let's
do.
unite everybody.
We do.
No.
We do. It's scary now to have that party. I mean, that's something we want to get back into. But we had to take a few years off, obviously.
Yeah,
because
no
of
doubt.
what I went through. But yeah, it's something we'd like to do it. We did it for a really good charity and cause.
Who did y'all do the charity for?
St. Jude and
Okay, yeah.
But the big thing is that with Holly Goslin,
Okay.
I have that scholarship that I do for her. I give multiple scholarships a year for colleges. Right now we're at 6 scholarships a year.
How do you go? All right, for all of our listeners with kids or our kid listeners, how do you go about applying for these scholarships?
So we do it. So Holly was our babysitter. I don't know if I brought this up last time.
No, I don't think you did.
Okay, Holly was our babysitter, and she was 16 years old, and she was babysitting my daughter, and actually passed away in my house. She had an enlarged heart, which undiagnosed, and we were out, and my wife actually came back first and found her, and she passed away with an enlarged heart. Actually, our heart like exploded. So we do scholarships for her every year. We did the white party. It was in honor of Holly. At the time, we did St. Jude, but then we started a Holly Goslin Scholarship Fund, and we do scholarships to. She was a dancer, so we do D'Iberville dance, Biloxi dance, D'Iberville cheer, Biloxi cheer, and now we're just doing one. This will be our first year. We're doing one for a Kelly's dance scholarship as
Miss
well.
Kelly.
So for all
Miss
you dancers out there,
I'm her
get out
janitor,
there.
Yes.
so I clean her toilets.
Yes, okay, so
for
good.
years, going on 10 years, Miss Kelly, been cleaning your toilets.
So we do that, and we feel it's an amazing cause. And
No, absolutely,
it just
it is.
and now it's another talk about ups and downs in life. It's probably the hardest time in our life. This is about 7 years ago to experience
That's
that.
awesome, man. And
Yeah.
the reason I say that's like right here. This is my old roommate. He kept his wedding 30 minutes. He waited. I was late 30 minutes.
Wow.
And he waited on me, bro. He waited on me. He passed away one morning with me and his wife, and I had to put him in the ambulance because James Steed said, bro, like James was on that call. The ambulance took 45 minutes to get to him. He has a regular heart. James said this was one of the hardest things I ever went through, Jourdan. He said, took 45 minutes to come get him, and he passed away.
Wow.
And that's something I have him on my chest.
Yeah.
So I have him with this one right here.
Yeah.
So I have him on my chest, but I'll tell James all the time. James Steed, which you and him are great friends.
Yes, I actually spoke to him today. He's actually painting my boat. Thank you, James.
Oh, nice. What color?
Well, my boat was in good shape, but I let my kids use it, which sometimes bad.
Oh, yeah.
So I got some pretty deep
I was
scratches.
one of those kids one day.
Yeah, so I have some pretty deep scratches. So I was like, James, now the weather's bad, come and, buff
it's
it
not
out,
boat
scratch
season.
it. Yeah.
But the regular heartbeat, same thing.
Yeah.
That's what got him. It's a serious thing. It really is dangerous.
Yeah, and it was really hard with her because Kelly and Holly's mother, Tina, are really good friends in high school.
That sucks.
So just having to experience that, and all of a sudden,
man.
we probably had
It's so young.
50 or 60 kids at our house at 2 a.m, just sitting there when they heard what happened, and it was just a disaster. I mean, they literally come in, it's like a crime scene because they didn't know. I mean, but she'll always be remembered.
Absolutely, I think that's
she's
awesome.
got a great honor.
Yeah.
I mean, so to Holly, we're always thinking about you.
Well, yeah. R.I.P.
Well,
Since 2020 has been a bitch of a year, and so has many other. But
Yes.
whenever death happens, man, it always takes a while to get established. But you always got to remember the good times. But
And I think we should end on this, guys. And Ivan will be right. We'll be back with us.
yeah,
Sure.
But no,
we will drive that car.
We
Yeah,
will
no
do.
doubt.
and Merry Christmas to you, buddy. And and so all the big things you do, and understand some guys. And this is just for me is people make mistakes, but stay in your lane, work hard, and own up to them.
Build people up.
There's no question. There's
Don't
no
tear
question.
people down. Never.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
pointless. It's wasted energy.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, and I told them, I said before I even got on this thing, I'm a completely open book. If anyone does have any questions about me or want to know anything, good, bad, and different.
Here's a cell phone number right here.
I'm always willing to talk about it. I want to try to make everyone. I really do. I want to try to make everyone better. And if people are going through tough times, and I've been there. I've done that. I've talked to a few people recently that are from this coast that are having the same kind of issues I have. And if anyone's having those issues, feel free to call me if they are going through something that I am.
There's nothing better than a personal testimony.
Yeah.
You know?
And listen, I had a lot of people from here that helped me out that went through the same situation as me. I mean, Michael Janis was an amazing, he got, an amazing person that really helped me get through the situation I was. And, he was the head of D'Iberville and got jammed up in that an issue similar, something like mine. So, you always need someone to help you and guide you in the right directions.
Help's always the best route.
There's no question.
Whenever nobody's around to help, that's when you screwed up real big time.
And I'm telling you, it's gonna be. You want to build people. You should never want to tear them down.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
You can't do it, man. It doesn't matter if it sounds cool, if it's a good gossip, if it's a good conversation for a glass of wine. Don't do it.
Right.
Stay in your lane. Just leave people, like, just focus on you.
And 90% of the stuff you hear about people is usually not true.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time you hear a story,
Damn it, Jersey Shore.
It's funny. By the time it usually gets back to you, I'm like, I was there.
It's that game telephone, man. It's like everybody's
like,
whispering, and it changes just a little bit.
So yeah, but people just like gossip and they like drama and they like to hear it makes them feel better when they hear miserable things about other people.
Yeah, well, do us a favor, man. Whenever you get this thing framed and hung up, send us a picture of it.
I will.
We appreciate you coming on.
And the Gulf Coast Auto Exotic is his car lot right there on Pass Road.
Gulf Coast Exotic Auto.
Gulf Coast Exotic
Auto.
Yeah, and
Gulf Coast. I always mess it up, right?
Come by in the next few weeks. We'll have this thing. We'll have actually the car's there right now. We'll have it framed, and the car's actually in there. Because,
and they also finance longer than 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah, I mean we're not a big finance company, but yeah, no. If you want to come look at the cars, or your kids want to jump in a car and take a picture, hey, we're really easy.
Sweet.
We love that kind of stuff.
Or order, like, if you have a certain car, they'll find it on the internet.
There's no question. Yeah,
They'll find your car for you, auctions, whatever. If you have
do.
a certain car, they'll find it for you.
Yeah, we do that. Chris Gibson. He's the
Shout
guy
out.
that runs it.
Shout out. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Appreciate it.
We'll catch y'all next time.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Have a good day.